Atul Singh, who's an aviation expert, is now joining me on the story. Mr. Singh, we are seeing the initial investigation is now out. It's a 15-page document that points towards the fact, from what we understand, has actually happened. It took barely 90 seconds. What is really astonishing is the kind of engine failure that we are seeing. The switch went on its own from run to cut off.
No, this is the kind of theory which I am not able to chew it down. Let me tell you very frankly, the way the investigation was conducted and the kind of findings brought out, how an operating crew, either pilot flying or pilot monitoring, can switch off the fuel line. It's a very basic thing to understand that those people sitting at the controls, they understand that switching off the fuel supply will lead to this kind of catastrophic situation. How they will do that? See, this is very easy to do it in India, that once the operating crew is no more alive to tell you the real story, just pass on the blame on their head. This is the whole thing which is going on right now. I feel totally ashamed and very painful to understand this, that how Accident Bureau conducting the investigation can pass on the buck to the operating crew. This is not possible. There might be a serious, severe software glitches on board the aircraft computer system which does control the entire operating parameters of the aircraft. That might be the problem with the FedEx. That might be problem with the other system, critical system to take off. But this theory, I am not able to understand on what basis and under what circumstances the situation, the people investigating the matter came out with this finding. The pilots are the lot in such kind of situation are they are the victim. Pilots are the victims. Pass on the buck to the pilots. This is the standard practice in India.
But Mr. Singh, the report is not pointing fingers at the pilot. The report is saying that there was a failure that happened. In fact, the conversation between the pilots.
See, so at the end of the day, the question arises that why the fuel switches were cut off? Why and how? There might be some problem, system malfunctioning on board the aircraft. Because the finding itself does connote that there might be one manual intervention. There might be some unwarranted manual input during that critical time of liftoff of the aircraft. Try to understand the matter in the other way around.
From what we are understanding, Mr. Singh, at the moment, what we understand is the fact that both the pilots had a conversation. They made a mayday call, but they did not have the time. Just immediately after the mayday call, the crash took place. The entire investigation will take place at least 7 months. The entire world is now very keenly looking at what exactly happened.
Yes. Meanwhile, I also got the message that one of the pilots asking another one that why did you switch off the fuel line? He says perhaps that no, he didn't. But is it recorded? Is that conversation recorded in CVR? Is that conversation between two operating crew recorded in CVR? No, it is not. Then why pilot said Mayday? Mayday means the pilots are all incapable to handle the aircraft from that time onwards when they said Mayday. Means they tried their level best to lift off the aircraft despite all that adverse running condition. So there might be a certain critical, very serious software malfunctioning / technical malfunctioning on board the aircraft, which till yet accident investigators are not trying to find out. That's it.
Mr. Singh, do you believe once the investigation is over, we will see some changes in the aviation sector, especially in India, the SOPs, the kind of checking that used to take place? Do you think it's high time we change the SOPs?
Every accident does invite the complete review of the operating / operational safety ecosystem, either at the ground or at the flight controls, or even at the plant where the aircraft is being fabricated and manufactured. Fine. So issuing a SOP is always a welcome move because it gives you a great chance to review the entire operational parameter in a very proactive manner so that the further such kind of incidents doesn't occur. But in the prevailing situation, when Boeing is not considering or Boeing is not paying due attention to their existing hardware. So this is very painful, and it can't be, it is not fair from the side of Boeing to that they are not looking after. First of all, they need to set their own house in order. Because, see, this is not the only singular case which has happened with Air India. That is a different thing that it took a very heavy toll. But in very many cases, since inception, since 2014, this particular aircraft, 787 Dreamliner, had to face very, very serious, technical problems. And on very many times, either aircraft were grounded, aircraft were returned back to the airport from mid-air. So it requires a complete 360-degree review of the entire operational technical status of the aircraft called 787 Dreamliner. And for that matter, any of the aircraft currently being manufactured at Boeing. Boeing requires a serious major technical overhaul.
Thank you, Mr. Singh, for speaking with India Today. That was Atul Singh, aviation expert, who's now also pointing fingers at the Boeing and saying that Boeing also now needs to make sure that they check all the aircrafts that they have been making.